Sam here from Sheridan Computers. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use pfSense to connect to a VPN provider. Now, one thing I want to get out of the way is I don't trust VPN providers, and I certainly don't recommend any of them. The only reason they're in this video is to allow me to do this demo. If you're going to set up a VPN for privacy reasons, set up a DigitalOcean droplet or a private server on Linode. It'll be much cheaper on monthly cost. You control the machine, you can delete the logs, and I'd recommend that you do that. One thing I use VPN providers for, and which is why I have an account with one, is literally just so I can appear in other countries and like test firewall rules or whatever I need to do. So if you're using one for privacy purposes, I don't recommend these companies at all. In fact, most of them, when you go on straight away, they have big adverts saying if you subscribe to us right now, you can get like 50% off, 70% off. But you must click this button within like 24 hours, because if you don't, this offer's gone. Yeah, you can log in like next week, 2 weeks, 2 months, that offer will still be there. So they're kind of just dishonest right from the outgo. So I don't trust them anyway whatsoever. But anyway, let's get on with this video and let's show you exactly how to do this.
Sheridan Computers, IT, Communications, Support.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do before we get started is we need to download the OpenVPN configuration from whichever VPN provider you're doing. So in this case, I'm using PIA. So what we're going to need to do is go into PIA, to download, and you need to download the OpenVPN. So you can either generate your own. For this, I'm just going to use the standard OpenVPN config file that they provide. Let's go ahead and save that. So it's a zip file. So we're going to want to extract our zip file. Extract all. So it's given us a list of zip files which are for all the different countries and things. I'm just going to use a VPN one for this. Copy that, paste it there. I can remove that zip file for now. Right, so you need to go ahead and open this with a text editor. So I'm going to open it. Right, so once you've got your OVPN file, which is the OpenVPN configuration file, this contains everything that we need. Before we can get started, the first thing we need to do is get off. We need the certificate authority for PIA. So we need to copy everything between the two CA flags. So what we're going to do is grab everything from where it says begin certificate. So it says end certificate, and we're going to copy that. And we're going to go into certificate manager, and we're going to add a new CA. So make sure you're on the CA tab. Go add. I'm going to call this PIA CA. We want to import an existing certificate authority. We're just going to paste that data that we copied into the certificate data field. The key you can leave. Go ahead and save that. So as you can see, once we've saved it, we've got the PIA certificate installed as a CA. So all being well, you should be able to see the expiration dates. So this one's 12th of April 2034. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and we can start setting up our VPN client. So we go to VPN, OpenVPN clients. So we want to add a new client. So let's go ahead and add this. So click on the add button. Give it a description. So we're going to call it PIA VPN client. Obviously don't tick disable. The mode configuration, you can leave default, so peer-to-peer and TUN layer 3 mode. Protocol, we're going to have UDP on IPv4 only. So obviously these, if you go ahead and generate your own, you're going to need to change these for however you set it up. The default UDP on IPv4. You use one interface for connecting. The local port, you can just ignore that. So now we need to start popping server hosting address. So it's up here at the top. So where it's got in the VPN configuration file, where it's got remote UK London privacy .network. So we're going to copy that host name and paste that in there. So we need the server port, and as you can see, the server port's 1198. So let's go ahead and change that. We can leave the rest of that. The username, you need to go in and stick in your PIA VPN and username that you used to log in through the control panel and things. We don't want to use the TLS key. You can leave the default direction. The peer certificate authority. So if you've got multiple certificate authorities within pfSense, make sure you choose the right one. You need to choose the PIA one. The rest of this we can leave. pfSense will automatically detect it the way it's set up for default. If you have hardware acceleration, go on and choose that. Using hardware acceleration obviously will make the VPN faster. So tunnel settings, we can kind of leave these as defaults up until do not pull routes. So we don't want to pull the routes. Don't want to add, remove routes. So basically that's telling the OpenVPN that we don't want the client to change the routes on pfSense. It's probably not what you want. Ping settings you can leave. I think the rest of it we can leave fine. If you do need to pass any custom options through, you can do. And obviously there's various options. You don't really need to. But you can obviously copy any of those that you want in there. The defaults are fine on pfSense in all fairness. Gateway creation, I only need an IPv4 gateway because I'm not using IPv6 on this. So we go ahead and save that. Let me stick the password in. So as I said, you need to put username and password in to connect. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. So I've gone ahead and stuck the username and password in, so now that should save fine. Make sure these are ticked as I say. Go ahead and save that. And that's it. I've basically got the client set up at this stage. If we now look at, we've got the options here, we've got related status settings. If we go into related status, you can pretty much see we've got traffic being sent and received. We've got the remote host, so it looks like it's working at that stage. So we're going to need to go ahead and set this up as an interface. So we'll go to interfaces, assignments, and you should have your VPN client here, which we have. Let's go ahead and select that and add it as a new interface. Once you've added the interface, just go into it, enable it, and give it a proper name. So PIA int, spell it right, int. There's nothing that really you need to select in here anymore. Make sure these are not ticked because you're getting private IP addresses assigned by your VPN provider. So go ahead and save that. Apply the changes. Okay, so we've got the client created and we have the interface set up. So just double check, that should give us a gateway. So if we go into system and routing, it has, in fact, you can see that we have PIA int VPN v4, which is the one that we've just set up. I always recommend that you change the default gateway and yet, rather than leaving it on automatic, actually specify your default gateway, otherwise you can have problems, it will go nuts. There's nothing to really save in there, it was already set that way for us. So now I've done that, we want to create a couple of aliases, just to make this easier for management going forward. So we're going to go into firewall, aliases, IP. So what we're going to do here is give the IP address of each endpoint that we want to go over VPN. So we're going to do add VPN, in fact, let's go VPN out endpoints, and we specify the list of each of the hosts that we want. So this machine, for example, I've just gone into Windows PowerShell, typed in IP config, so you can see my IP address is 192.168.1.10. So this is one of the clients that we're going to want to use. So I'm just going to paste that in there. Sam PC. We're going to save that. Apply the changes. So obviously you can edit this and add as many endpoint addresses as you want. So once we've got the aliases set up, the next thing we need to do is create a firewall rule to rules to push our traffic over the VPN. We needed the gateway to do that. So what we're going to do is go to add. Now, before you do this, make sure it's above your local. Like we've got allow LAN out. You need to make sure it's above this because we're pushing the route different to the normal ones. If it's below this, we'll just push it that way. And also be careful of. I've got the source set to anything, so you need to obviously take that into account. So we're allowing anything from the LAN. So what we're going to do is do add. We want to pass the traffic. Obviously, don't disable the rule. The interface is going to be LAN. IP address family is going to be IPv4. Obviously, it depends on the whatever config you downloaded or generated. Default's IPv4. Protocol any. And here, I want single host or halo. And what we're going to do is use that alias. So VPN endpoints. So anything that's IP address is listed in the aliases for VPN endpoint. So you see how I said create an alias just makes it easier because you can just add and remove from that as you want. So traffic routed out VPN. Now we need to go into advanced. What we want to do is we want to put a tag on this. So I'm going to call this PIA. So basically any traffic coming in to the destination that we specified, which is any, coming from them IP addresses, is going to get thrown out wherever we tell it in a second, but we're just adding a tag on this. So a tag's like a label as such, and I'm calling this PIA. And you'll see why I do that. It's because if you've got endpoints that you're going over that and using the VPN, you don't really want them going out your WAN interface, and we'll use a tag to block that. But I'll go through that in a minute. Once we've done that, we need to specify the gateway. So anything that's listed there, we want it to go out through our VPN gateway, which is why we needed to create we needed the gateway creating for it. So which is why we had the interface and stuff like that. So this is like policy-based routing. So once we've done that, we can go ahead and save that. And we are pretty much ready at this stage. So you can see we've got our source, so VPN endpoints. If you hover over it, it'll show you what they are. And they're going out the gateway. So any traffic coming in from here, we want to go out that gateway. Before our traffic will actually go out that gateway, we're going to need to set up some NAT rules. So I've gone to firewall, NAT, outbound. So you should have it set to hybrid outbound. So rather than just, it's on automatic, which is the default, it just creates all the rules for you. We want to be able to specify our own. We want to add a new rule in here. Set the address family to IPv4. Protocol is going to be any. Interface is the PIA interface that we created. So we want to NAT on that interface, so it will allow our traffic out and do network address translation on it. Our source network. This is going to be the same one that we created. So VPN out endpoint. And we're just going to change the mask to 32. There's basically anything listed in there. Before it's 32, so it's not a range, it's just them that we're using. That on interface address, go ahead and save that. Apply the changes. Get rid of that. So we're setting our net rule up, so we want the traffic to go through the PIA interface and our VPN endpoints, the NAT address, and that's pretty much all we need to do. So if we go ahead now into where is it? Services, and we have our OpenVPN client. We're just going to restart this. Now, once we've restarted, that should be all we need. So if I go to ifconfig.io, so you can see the IP address that we're connecting on is 194.110.13.43, which is the VPN IP address. So that is now working. So if we go ahead to fast.com, show more info, and you can see the client is London, which is obviously the VPN file we chose. That's pretty much everything you need to do to get your VPN set up. Now, I did mention we tagged the traffic. So if I go back into pfSense, we're going to interfaces, firewall rules. Now, I did mention the point of tagging the traffic was if you've got your endpoints and you want that traffic from the endpoint to go over the VPN, if the VPN fails for whatever reason, it'll just go out. It'll use the next rule and it'll go out the one interface as the default interface. So we want to block that. If I go to add, and we're going to block. So one interface IPv4 any, and we're going to choose single host or alias, and we want our VPN endpoints. So we don't want anything from these allowed out unless they're connected to the VPN. Now to do this, we're going to display in advanced, and there's this tagged option here. Now, what did I put in PIA? So we'll put in PIA. So that needs to match the tag. So this is any traffic which is tagged with that label. So you need to make sure it's set the same as the one that you did. Put a description in. Block traffic destined for VPN. And we'll go ahead and save this. And apply the rules. That's basically blocking anything out of that interface from these VPN endpoints. So if I go into VPN, OpenVPN clients, and I disable this client, save that. No, I can't disable it while it's got an interface assigned to it, so we'd have to remove it. Alright, let's do it a different way. So diagnostics, services, OpenVPN, and I'm just going to stop the OpenVPN client for a minute. So that's stopped, so now I shouldn't have instant access from this machine. Go ahead and double check that. And we haven't, our traffic is blocked. So you can have multiple of these. What we can do is go back into OpenVPN. Let me select New York, for example. Let me go ahead and open that. Open with, use a text editor. Where's Sublime? Go ahead and open that. I'm going to change remote host to this. If I go back into VPN, OpenVPN clients, edit that client, and I'm going to change the remote host when I can find it. There. To New York City. Go ahead and save that. Okay. I'm going to diagnostics. It's not under there. Where is it? Status services. Restart our VPN service again. Let me refresh this. So we're on 194.110.13.43. Let me go ahead and refresh this. So you can see straight away our IP address has changed, the remote host has changed, and the country code. So we're now coming from the US. So you can add multiple entries in. You can just change it as and when you need to. So that shows that we are working properly. My last comments on VPNs. So I don't endorse any VPN company at all. So a VPN is useful, I guess, for hiding traffic from your IP. You kind of, with VPNs and VPN providers, you kind of just kicking the can down the road. So you're hiding it from your IP, but then the VPN provider that you're using, yeah, they say they don't log things. Do they? Yeah, take their word for it, I guess. But if you want a VPN provider, so I did that with private internet access, you can do exactly the same thing with NordVPN. So private internet access, you can see the prices. So 1 month is like $12 a month. If you commit to monthly plans, yearly plans, they go a lot cheaper. I think it's VPN pricing. So again, where is it? Pricing. So they all do it. It goes cheaper as you get it. With various options. You probably don't need any of this extra crap. So the standard one would do you. Like I say, I don't really. If you do it monthly, they go up significantly. Like I say, I don't really endorse any of these companies. But again, they offer the option to download the VPN configuration file, so you can do the exact same thing through them. So if you wanted to get started with pfSense and VPNs and sending traffic over a VPN, I hope that helped. So, if you've got TVs, whatever you want to send the traffic over, you can do that. And it doesn't have to be one of them VPN providers. If you're doing a setup back to your office, it's pretty much the same process. Do me a favour, if you found this video useful, please hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel and hit notifications icon, and you'll receive notifications of any new videos as they are released. It does help, and it does encourage me to carry on doing the videos. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next one.